You can't step into a new season when your home and your head are still full of the old stuff. Women who live with intention don't hold on to what makes them feel small, whether it's a thing, a thought, or a habit. So today I'm sharing 5 things high-value grounded women let go of to feel lighter, clearer, and more in control of their lives. Because decluttering isn't just about having less, it's about creating space for the version of you you're becoming. If this is your first time in here, welcome. I'm so glad you found your way to this space. Hit subscribe if you want more content that helps your home and your mind feel calmer. And before we begin, let me ask you, what's one thing you've been keeping, even though it no longer serves you? Have you ever started decluttering your bedroom only to find yourself 15 minutes later, in the hallway, holding a pile of papers, wondering how you even got there? That's the trap of cleaning by room. It feels logical one space at a time, but in real life, it scatters your focus and drains your energy fast. Instead, try this: pick one type of item and deal with just that everywhere in the house. Just books, or just shoes, or just cups, whatever feels like the easiest win. Here's how I do it. I take one laundry basket, walk through the house, and grab only books, even if they're half under the couch or next to the stove. Once I've gathered them all, I put them in one spot, then decide what to keep, what to donate, and what needs a proper home. It sounds so simple, but here's why it works. Your brain doesn't have to switch tasks. You're not going from books to clothes to toys to mail. You're just doing books. That rhythm builds momentum, and it's easier to finish what you started. And when you're in that rhythm, something strange happens. You start noticing things that were just there before. Like, why do we even have 5 pairs of scissors or 4 coffee mugs we never use? That's exactly what I'll talk about in tomorrow's video: 10 things you don't actually need in your home. It's not just a list, it's a way to see differently. Once you see these things, you can't unsee them. And honestly, once I let them go, my whole home felt quieter. So don't miss it. It might just be the nudge your space has been waiting for. Now that you know how to start, let's talk about where, and the fastest place to feel progress is this next step. Some days it feels like the mess is everywhere. So much so, you don't even know where to look first. That's exactly when you need a quick win. Instead of asking, where do I start? Ask, what can I do in 15 minutes that makes the room look better immediately? Start with these 3: trash, dishes, dirty clothes. That's it. Don't overthink. Don't sort. Just remove. Here's what I do. I grab a grocery bag and walk through the house picking up actual trash receipts, wrappers, old notes, broken pens. Then I move on to dishes, not to wash them, just to gather them all in one spot. The sink, the counter. And finally, laundry. Anything dirty goes into the hamper, even if it means pulling socks from under the couch. You don't have to finish these tasks, you just have to collect. No cleaning yet, no folding, just gather and breathe. Because once those 3 things are out of sight, the house already looks less chaotic. And more importantly, your brain sees a shift. You feel like you've started. You feel a little more in control. And once that little bit of space opens up, it's the perfect time to set yourself up for bigger wins, starting with the way you decide what stays and what goes. Have you ever started decluttering and then just stood there holding something in your hand thinking, should I keep this? Toss it. Where does this even go? That mental freeze is what stops most of us. Not the mess, but the tiny decisions that pile up fast and wear us down. Here's a trick that changed everything for me. Set up 3 boxes before you start. One for items to toss or donate, one for things you're unsure about, one for things you're keeping but don't know where to put yet. I use any cardboard boxes. I have nothing fancy. I just label them with sticky notes. And I put them somewhere visible, like the dining room or hallway corner. That way, wherever I'm decluttering, I don't have to hesitate. I just drop the item in the right box and move on. This does 2 things. It keeps the process flowing and it removes guilt from the moment. You're not being indecisive, you're being kind to your future self. And that unsure box, I keep it tucked away in the closet for a few weeks. If I don't miss anything in it, I let it go. Once those boxes are ready, the next step is knowing how to make better decisions about what actually belongs in your home and what's just taking up space. Sometimes we hold on to things not because we love them, but because we're afraid to make the wrong choice. What if I need it someday? What if I regret letting it go? That hesitation is real. But what helps me move forward is this. I stopped asking, Should I keep this? Instead, I ask. If I didn't already own this, would I spend money to buy it again? If this item disappeared in a fire, would I miss it enough to replace it? When was the last time I actually used this and did it bring any value? These aren't trick questions. They just pull you out of autopilot. Because when we hold something in our hands and feel that old tug of guilt, or maybe we need something to anchor us back to reality, not just emotion. One time I found a fancy teapot in my kitchen cupboard. It had a small chip and I hadn't used it in over 2 years, but I kept moving it around, cleaning around it like it deserves space, simply because it used to matter. I asked myself, if I saw this in a store today, would I buy it again? The answer was no. So I let it go. And that one decision freed up a whole shelf. Once you start making decisions like that, decluttering becomes less about getting rid of stuff and more about choosing what really deserves to stay. And now let's talk about where to begin so it feels less overwhelming. If you've ever tried to declutter sentimental things, first old letters, baby clothes, gifts from someone who's no longer around, you'll know this. It's like trying to run a marathon on your very first walk. The tricks start with the easy wins. Things that don't carry emotion. Things you can decide on quickly without inner debate. I always begin with clothes. Not the ones in drawers or underbed storage, just the visible clutter jackets draped over chairs, shoes at the door, laundry piles in corners. These are easy to handle and give an instant sense of progress. Once that's done, I move on slowly to books, papers, the random bits and pieces that build up in drawers. And only when I've built up that decision muscle, I touch the sentimental things. It's not about being efficient. It's about building trust with yourself that you can start follow through and not get stuck. Even if you only finish one category this week, socks, cookbooks, expired skincare, that still counts. And when one category is done, your space starts to feel clearer. That's the moment to shift from decluttering to creating real structure. Have you ever bought a bunch of storage bins, only to realize you're just organizing your clutter into nicer containers? That used to be me. I thought buying clear boxes and label makers meant I was making progress, but really I was just moving the mess around, not removing it. So here's the shift. Don't organize as you declutter. Separate the two. Decluttering comes first always. Let yourself make space first. Clear out what no longer belongs. Create breathing room. Then, and only then, decide how to store what's left. For example, I used to keep all my skincare products in one large drawer. It looked organized, but I was using maybe 5 items daily and digging through 15. Once I decluttered, I realized I didn't need a drawer organizer at all, just a small tray on the counter for my essentials. When we jump to organizing too early, we often try to make room for things we don't even want. But when we organize after we've simplified the system, becomes obvious because it's built around what you actually use. And once you've cleared that space, you can finally start building small systems ones that make daily life easier without adding more work. Let's be honest, decluttering feels great until everything creeps back in again. It's not because we're lazy. It's because life is full and messes build up quietly. That's why I don't just declutter. I set up tiny systems that keep things under control without needing daily effort. Here are a few that made a huge difference for me. A drop zone near the door, I placed a small tray and bowl on a shelf near the entryway. Keys, receipts, random little things, they go there. No more. Where did I put that? A donation basket, I keep a soft bin in my wardrobe. Anytime I try something on and think I don't love this anymore, I drop it in. No second guessing, just a quiet way to let go over time. A quick room scan habit. Before I leave a room, I take one item with me that doesn't belong: a mug, a charger, a sock. Just one. It's so small it doesn't feel like cleaning, but it adds up fast. Seasonal storage swap. Twice a year, I switch out winter and summer items using an underbed container. That simple shift keeps closets lighter and my mind clearer. None of these take much time, but they save so much time and energy by stopping clutter before it builds up. Because the real goal isn't just a tidy home, it's to have less visual noise, fewer distractions, and more space to feel at ease. Now that we've covered the core habits, let's gently wrap this up with a few thoughts to carry into your next quiet moment. You don't have to do everything. You don't need a perfect system or a weekend overhaul. Just one small shift, one drawer, one habit, one moment of clarity can be enough to start. If something in this video gave you a little more breathing room, even just in your mind, then that's already a win. And if you want more calm, one corner at a time, I've made a video on how I declutter specific areas room by room. You might find it helpful next. If this felt useful, feel free to tap like it's a quiet way to let me know this content truly helped. And if you've ever looked around and thought, wait, why do I even have all this stuff? Tomorrow's video will walk you through 10 things you probably don't need, but keep anyway. It's a short list that might change the way you see your home and yourself. I hope you come back for it, because once you let those things go, you'll wonder why you waited so long.